Alright guys, Paul back here again. In this video we're going to be doing an in-depth look at a fully re-leathered Fandu Luxe Big Gold. So if you haven't seen it already on my channel a few months back, I've done a full in-depth review of a standard Fandu Luxe belt that comes on its original real leather strap. So later on in this video, towards the end, I'm actually going to cut open this strap and kind of show you what this one's made of. That'll be later on in the video, but for now we're going to go in depth on this belt. So this has been fully re-leathered by myself. The strap has been finished in a cordovan brown colour, which is the same shade of dye that was used on the original belt which Ric Flair debuted. And in addition to that, it does have the white hand-stitched border going all the way around the entire strap. So yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful belt. This replica is outstanding. I can't actually stress enough how good these Luxe replicas are. But yeah, let's take a look in depth at this and you can see for yourselves. Okay, so I'm not going to go too in depth on the details on the plates. I did that in my full review video. As you can all see, the plates on this thing are outstanding. The detail on it is really top tier. I honestly can't kind of stress enough how good these plates are. They're so much better, for one, than the original Fandu Big Gold replicas, and for two, I think this is probably the best representation of a crumb-rine that is realistically available on the market at the moment. I know there are different versions of this, and I've seen many of them in person. I'll be honest, this one is possibly my favourite, and there are more expensive versions of this belt available to purchase, but I think this Fandu Luxe replica is absolutely outstanding. The detail achieved in, for example, the lettering or the texture behind the lettering or between all the floral, the floral detail is just top tier, absolute top tier. This does of course come with a Ric Flair nameplate. The original belt did have a K on the Ric, I seem to remember. You'll see that white hand-stitched border that goes around the entirety of the strap there. So yeah, as mentioned, the strap is finished in the cordovan brown, so I don't know, that might actually be the best lighting to show it off there. You can kind of see the kind of really dark, kind of a chocolate brown almost. In certain lighting it's a kind of deep rich brown that kind of depending on the lighting available really kind of changes shades, so it's a really beautiful colour of brown. I do enjoy finishing these straps in this colour. So as you'll see on the end there, it does have my signature on the end of the strap just to certify it is a strap completed by myself. We've got the 2x8 silver snaps, so this does have the silver snaps, which is what the original belt debuted by Ric Flair had, so the silver snaps do continue on the other side, as you can see here. Hopefully you can get a good representation of that beautiful brown cordovan colour. And of course we've got the stitched borders, nice sealed up edges there. Again, the plates are absolutely outstanding. I'm not gonna, like I said, go into too much depth about these because I've done a full video on them. This is mainly to show off the completed belt on a nice brand new real leather strap. So you can see the stitched borders around the plates nicely, as you can hopefully tell there. The stones on this are pretty decent as well, and they're not Swarovski or cubic zirconia, but for what they are, I think they're just standard glass crystals, so they're not half bad. They can always be replaced if someone chooses to do that, but as standard they're pretty decent. This is obviously one of those belts that there's not really any leather work to talk about tooling wise. The only tool detail, as mentioned, is my signature on that end of the strap, so it's mainly the stitched border that is the kind of eye-catching point of this leather. I mean, the eye-catching point of this belt is the ridiculous plates. Honestly, I need one of these in my collection. I'm completely sold on it at this point. Fantastic replica, which I honestly cannot recommend enough. Right, we'll just grab a bit of foam there, protect the plates as we flip this over. So on the rear of this belt, of course, so on the back here you can see most of the screws covered up. So the original Big Gold, if I remember correctly, the screws were actually left exposed on that belt. We do have 2 exposed screws here which are for the removable nameplate, so that can be changed over. But the owner of this belt wanted the rest of the screws to be covered up with the nice black leather backing, so you can see the screw bolts showing through nicely there. Of course, we've got the male snaps covered up as well, which you can see the indentations of. I always enjoy the way the stitched borders look under leather backing. Just kind of gives it a nice border around the back of the strap, and of course to the other side, this side snaps obviously left exposed so we can fasten the belt back together and unfasten it. But yeah, an absolutely beautiful belt. I'm really thrilled with how this came out. Nice sealed up edges as well, hopefully you can see there. We seal up the edges, of course, to kind of give it a nice smoothened finish, and so the backing doesn't peel off. So you see it on quite a lot of ring used belts, those get thrown around a bunch, so eventually the backing might separate. So when we've got the sealed edges, that becomes almost impossible to happen. Yeah, I honestly can't stress enough how impressed I am with this Fandu Luxe Replica. I'd seen photos prior to having one in person, but really there's no Big Gold on the market at the moment that I think stacks up to this. That's just my opinion. There are handmade versions of this, which I'm not going to go into too much detail. It would be cool to do a comparison at some point. But yeah, if you're looking for a crumb rind, like classic Big Gold style belt, the Fandu Luxe comes recommended from me. What doesn't come recommended on the Fandu Luxe is the standard leather straps that come on it. I'm going to cut this strap open now and kind of show you what this is made up of and kind of give an honest assessment of this. I already gave an honest review of it in my full review of the Fandu Luxe belt. If you haven't seen that, the quick summary is the plates, as I've mentioned already, are outstanding. This was terrible, so we're going to see why it's terrible just now. Okay, so this is, as mentioned, the original strap that came on this Fandu Luxe belt. I'm not sure why it has tape around where the nameplate holes are. I'm not sure, to be honest. That's what it had when I took the plate off. So yeah, as mentioned, this is the official strap that comes on it. As I've previously talked about, the stitching on this I hated. I thought it was terrible. Like the inconsistency between the stitch length, as you can see, the stitch accuracy. I mean, look at these down here. It's not an impressively stitched belt. That's not a nice rounded border. Not to shoot my own shit here, but yeah, having some kind of shape to it kind of makes the belt a lot more attractive, and it kind of just looks like a nicer finished belt when it all kind of comes together looking consistent. The snaps used as well aren't great. I don't like those. They're not very strong snaps, but my biggest criticism is the quality of the leather used, which it's not good, and mostly of course the quality of the stitching, which is ridiculously bad. I've said it before, but for as good as those plates are, it's exactly the opposite for the strap, and that's disappointing, but I'm happy to re-leather these. So yeah, so we'll cut this open now. As mentioned, I should also actually point out, to get these off, the plates off, I simply just cut through the backing, which as it turns out is not leather backing, it's actually vinyl, which isn't a good material to use for a backing. That's part of the reason why you get kind of all these lumpy bits in it. They're not too prominent now that the plates aren't on weighing it down, but hopefully you can kind of see there is lumpy bits just from the vinyl. So vinyl, the only time you're wanting to use synthetic materials such as vinyl is if it's a snake print, a crocodile print, or alligator or whatever. Generally you're going to want to use suede or a nice leather to use on the backing. For one, it's far more flexible and it's just more durable, and it's a better quality material. Okay, so I will cut a bit of the strap. Just simply cut it with my Stanley knife, so I don't think it really matters where I cut along this. Get a nice clean cut there. Okay. Okay, very good. Alright, there we go. One thing I will say is the vinyl is fairly well glued onto the leather. As you can see, of course, the top layer is real leather. It's not the best quality of leather, I'll be honest. I'm not particularly impressed. But for those that would question, oh, is it a fake strap like WWE used to do? They would claim it's real leather when it was just a shell with still filler inside. This is, in fact, is a real leather strap, as you can see here. That's solid leather. The backing is vinyl though, and it does have a plastic kind of coating seal on the edges there, which does seem to peel off a bit easier than you would want, but it is what it is. Yeah, I don't like that it uses vinyl on the rear of the belt. I think that's a bit of a cop-out, but the quality of the leather ain't great either. So in my opinion, these belts, obviously in my opinion, they look alright, Big Show. Obviously in my opinion, these belts do look best re-leathered, and yeah, I think that kind of speaks for itself, hopefully. One thing I didn't mention actually is how long the posts on this belt are. You can see when it sits there, the posts kind of stick up and are more prominent. It's just the way Fandu have made this. Definitely a belt I recommend regardless. So yeah, that's pretty much all there was to cover in this video. I hope just cutting this strap open was helpful and kind of reassured some, because I have had people emailing me asking if I recommend the Fandu Luxe belts based off of my last video, and as I said before, if you're happy with the strap, then yeah, it's going to be an outstanding belt. If you are a perfectionist, if you do want the belt kind of as close to what it was on TV, at any time, I mean, this did have the original strap is what I've done here with the cordovan and the white stitching. This of course did have a black strap with black stitching at one point. So yeah, it's kind of a personal preference thing. As an overall just final summary, I know I have said it in this video many times already and in the previous video, but yeah, the plates are the best big gold plates, replica wise definitely in my opinion, that you can buy right now, so I have no hesitation recommending the plates. The strap I don't like in the slightest. I think it is a really poor quality strap, and I think that's a bit of a shame because the plates are that good. It would be nice for it to come on an amazing strap, but if you want one of those amazing straps, just get in touch with me. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was useful and I hope this was helpful. Yeah, let me know if you've got a Fandu Luxe belt and what your opinion of it is. That being said, I do appreciate everyone that watched this video. I do have an extremely exciting video coming up very soon. Over 200 gigabytes of footage recorded for it, which I have to shortly condense down to about a 15-20 minute video, which is going to be some task, but I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully debuting in the next 2 weeks at this point, probably less now. But yeah, stick around if you're interested in that. Do like the video, please try get this video up to 100 likes. It does help the channel, and please do subscribe for more regular belt videos. I appreciate the support, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.
Yo monkeys, it's me, DDP, and if you want to get one of the greatest belts made for you, go to Paulmartinbelts. That's right, sucker.